Be honest with yourself. Be brutally honest with yourself for a second here. Have you ever imagined them coming back, like standing right in front of you, tears flowing down their face and actually feeling emotions and finally saying, I'm so sorry. I regret everything. I was so wrong. You were the one. Not just saying it, but actually meaning it and then changing from it. And in that moment that they finally choose you. If that fantasy lives in your head, then this video is literally written for you. So pay attention. Because that fantasy, it has honestly nothing to do with them. Nothing to do with them. So if you've experienced toxic relationships, narcissism, trauma, and trauma bonds, and all of that in toxic relationships, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's the replay, the imaginary, made up, hopeful, hope it's going to happen type of apology. The version of them that finally wakes up. And we're going to talk about what that fantasy actually truly means. So here's the truth that most people don't tell you, even therapists. You don't actually want the narcissistic person back. You want the pain to be validated. You want the relief. So when you've lived through narcissism and trauma bonding, your nervous system is actually, it's left in chaos. It's stuck there. And a trauma bond forms when emotional pain is paired with emotional relief that you think only they can give you. So your brain learns pain equals love, chaos equals connection, and anxiety equals attachment. How do they even get you that far? A trauma bond is this. They traumatize you by whatever means necessary. I don't need to explain. You know exactly what I'm talking about. But then they have to act like the hero to save you from your suffering that they caused. That's where the bond starts. They hurt you, then they act like your hero and give you like a gift, or honestly lots of intimacy, flirting with you, complimenting you, or just acting like nothing ever happened to make you feel like they are the one that makes you feel safe from the actual thing they caused. That's how weird and messed up this whole entire thing is. There's no real accountability. And when that relationship ends, the trauma doesn't close. It doesn't just stop. There's no real accountability. There's no empathy. There's no closure. So your brain creates something called a fantasy. And that's the fantasy delusional world that they want us to live in. And any moment that they come back and they say, you know, you didn't think of it that way. You imagined it wrong. This is how it was. You mattered. But I was wrong. Because if they actually said that, your trauma would finally start to make sense. That is why this fantasy feels so powerful. It's not about love. It's about your nervous system trying to finish an unfinished trauma loop. And myself included, I dealt with narcissistic relationships for 20 years. It's not because you're weak. We don't get stuck in these trauma bonds because we're weak. We get stuck because we're dysregulated and our nervous system has become addicted to that chaos. So when you've been in a toxic relationship that is marked by narcissism, manipulation, intermittent affection, your body starts to become addicted to the resolution. Not the person, the resolution. Not the person, the resolution. And the fantasy of them choosing you, it's actually your body trying to reclaim worth that the narcissistic person has completely stripped from you, taken it away from you. And this is the part that's hurt. This is the part that's going to hurt. Please don't get mad at me for it, but this is the truth. Even if a narcissist does come back and says everything you dreamed of, it's not going to heal the trauma bond. Because trauma bond is not healed with an apology. It's healed by regulation. They've conditioned you to feel that way. So listen carefully. If they were capable of becoming that version you fantasize about, they already have. They already would have. If they wanted to, they would. But they don't, so they didn't. So narcissism doesn't thrive on love. It actually thrives on control. They want you confused. They need to control you. A trauma bond doesn't break when they change because that's never going to happen. You actually have a better chance of farting out a herd of rhinos. And I'm not even trying to be funny. Healing from narcissistic trauma means that you start accepting this. The closure you crave will never come. It's never going to come. The closure you crave is never going to come from the person who created the wound. It comes from actually breaking the bond that they created. From teaching your nervous system that peace is safe, from choosing yourself without needing their apology, When that happens, that fantasy doesn't exist anymore. And it's not because you stop caring, it's because you stop needing them to fix what they broke. So just hear me out for a second. If this video felt like it described your private life, your private thoughts, you're not crazy. That's how common this is. They run the same script. You're trauma bonded. And if you're stuck in a trauma bond with a narcissist and you honestly feel like going no contact is absolutely unbearable, I created something super special just for you. My program, which you'll find the link below, it'll break you free from this in 21 days because a trauma bond is a what? It's an addiction. It's not the trauma. You can make or break habits usually in 21 days or less. It's a step-by-step nervous system reset to regulate your nervous system, designed for empathetic people to break trauma bonding with narcissists safely, calmly, and permanently. The link for it is down below. And don't forget to subscribe because you're waiting for them to change. Subscribe if you're done waiting for that. It's time to heal. And also, click the video that's going to be right over here probably. That one's going to explain a whole lot more. Let me know what you think, comment what you think, and let me know when you get started and what questions you have.